Iron Lung came out, and it was really good. Hello, my name is Meerah, and I'm a Lorekeeper in one of Yogg-Sothoth's libraries, and today I just had to talk about Iron Lung again. Meow? What? My cat says hello. I just got home from seeing Iron Lung, a film made by Markiplier and his amazing team based on the indie video game by David Szymanski of the same name. It came out, it's been out for a couple days now, but it officially released on the 30th. I saw it the night of the 29th. So yeah, I really needed to talk about it. So that's what this is. The first half of this video will be a quick recap of the plot of the game, and then my spoiler-free part of my review of the movie. And then the second half will wade a little bit into spoiler territory because I want to speculate and talk about the new Eldritch related things in the movie that weren't necessarily in the game or were made more prominent than they were in the game. Because I did make a whole video talking about the cosmic horror of Iron Lung. So I just want to make a sort of a part 2 to that, as well as giving you my general thoughts on the movie. Got it? Okay, cool. So the premise of both the game and the movie is a convict is sent down in a rust bucket submarine nicknamed the Iron Lung to perform an exploratory survey of an ocean of blood on an alien moon known as AT5. The future that this game and movie take place in is one where humans have colonized space and have made settlements on many other planets such as Mars and space stations, prominent ones that are mentioned in the movie being Eden and Filament Station. The game and the movie both occur or take place after this catastrophic event known as the Quiet Rapture has happened, where every star and habitable planet have blinked out of existence and humanity is on the brink of extinction. There are only a few hundred humans left in the universe. On to the review. Now, I am a little biased because I have been a consumer of Markiplier's content for well over a decade now. Here's a little lore drop for you. I actually met Mark and his whole squad. I think it was Mark, Amy, Wade, Molly, Bob, Mandy, Ethan. I think there was one other person there too. It was when they were on tour. They stopped at the hotel where I was working at the time, and I gave Amy a big bag of chocolate guitars, and she called me sweet, and they were all super nice. Still kicking myself for not getting a picture or an autograph or anything. But at the same time, they were probably really tired from traveling, and I did not want to bother them, because they're people too, just living their lives, you know? But yeah, I'm a little biased. In Space with Markiplier is still, to this day, my favorite YouTube original I've ever laid mine own eyeballs upon. And yeah, I just really like his content. I find it relaxing and fun to watch. I have also seen Iron Lung played by both Mark and Jacksepticeye and several other of my favorite YouTubers, and I love the game, love the concept, love the little story bits that we get in the game. I love that particular flavor of horror. As you might have noticed if you're a regular on my channel, this is right up my alley. I obviously am the target audience for this film. I'm not sure how much more of the target audience I could be. But that being said, I will be honest in my review. Spoiler alert, I don't really have anything bad to say, if that's what you're worried about. First of all, the music. Andrew Hulsfield did amazing. I would consider the music to actually be one of the main characters in the film, and the atmosphere that it provided was chef's kiss. So good. The cinematography was by Philip Roy, and it is gorgeous. I know other people have said it, but with such a small and restrictive set, you have to really get creative to keep your audience engaged. I thought that some of the camera shots were so artsy and cool. The sound design is just incredible. It's so unnerving and tense, and it really captured the same tension that was in the game, the sound effects that were in the game. I would also consider the sound design to be its own character in the movie because it contributes just so much to the vibe. The voice actors and actors, which I will put on screen now, all did absolutely amazing. I know some people have a really hard time taking Mark seriously as an actor because he's usually so goofy on YouTube. but I didn't really have that issue. I had no problem seeing him as Simon the convict, and in that role, I thought he did really great. There are some scenes near the end specifically where I physically recoiled in my seat because I felt sympathy pains for what poor Simon was going through. Just, whew, yeah. I thought his acting was really good. Caroline played Ava and Troy played David, who are two of the primary people that you hear on the speaker that are on the surface during his dives and stuff. I thought they did amazing. I couldn't believe that they got Troy Baker. Troy Baker really is everywhere. He's literally in all the things. Anyway, they both did fantastic. Elsie and Elle play the other two main voices that we kind of hear in the movie. I won't spoil anything here, but they gave me chills. Their voice acting was so good. And then Sean, or Jacksepticeye as you all might know him, played hilariously a welder named Jack. So that's really cool. Isaac and David played minor roles during flashbacks of Simon's life, and even though their roles were relatively small, I still think all of their performances added a lot to the film. Wikipedia also says that Rachel Hofstetter, Rahul Cole, and Ethan Nestor provided additional unspecified voices. I think I know the scene in which they provide those voices, and it's like, and if that was them that I'm thinking of, they did phenomenal too. Mark and his gaggle of editors did all the editing, so, you know, Lixian, Rachel, Marcus, and I think they've got a couple new editors too. The editing is chef's kiss. I love the way it's edited. Some of the cuts are just gorgeous. It's amazing. The set, the costuming, the props, the visual effects were all phenomenal. I think Iron Lung actually currently now holds the world record for most fake blood used in a movie, with over 80,000 gallons of the stuff being used. I thought that the sets and the props really, really helped tell the story. The visual effects were also amazing. What practical effects they did have blew me away and grossed me out in equal measure. And the CGI was tastefully used, I felt, and I think it looked really, really good. Those are just my opinions, of course. I personally liked the writing overall, but I think the general audience might find the story a little confusing and the pacing to be a bit slow at first. The first 30 or so minutes are a slow burn, and that's really par for the course for Eldritch horror. My husband and I obviously have seen Iron Lung played and know about it already, but for a casual viewer they might be a little bit confused, since this movie uses in media res, where it starts in the middle of a story already taking place, and as we go along more is revealed about the world and the main character's past and everything. There's also the question of if much of what happens in the film actually does happen, or if it's just the effects of radiation and high pressure nervous syndrome and carbon dioxide poisoning. We also know very little about the creatures that Simon might or might not have encountered. It's meant to be ambiguous, and it definitely succeeds in that. I personally choose to believe that at least part of what he experienced down there was real, and not just in his head. And this is where I'm gonna kind of go into spoilers, so if you haven't seen the movie yet and want to, feel free to click off this video and come back and watch this bit later. Spoilers ahead. This is the spoiler line. We are crossing it. So, now I really want to discuss the Eldritch horror that the movie expanded upon from the game, what they changed, and what has been totally brand new and added. For one, they changed the big bad from being an anglerfish, the one from the game is just straight up an anglerfish. But in the movie, they turned it into something much more terrifying and unrecognizable. I don't know how to describe it, except for lots of teeth and very creepy. And there's also, that's something else that they changed, there is definitely more than one creature, but I think we only ever encounter one in the game specifically. But like in the game, they seem to be stalking or at least keeping tabs on the Iron, with the more bigger reveals being in the end, obviously. When Simon finds the SM-8, he starts hearing the voices of at least two of the researchers aboard the SM-8. This is where it gets really interesting, in my opinion, because they could not possibly still be alive, as the SM-8 is literally in pieces. It's implied that the voices are in his head, but it's revealed later that they were real people, and that what he had been hearing were things that a lot of which they had actually said. So my speculation is that these creatures, these eldritch creatures, the ones with all the teeth, are using the voices somehow, like a kinku or something. Or the shimmer creatures, like the bear from Annihilation, kind of like that. In the credits, it's known as the Whisperer. The voices lead him to the bright light we know from the game as the Anomaly. And it's said in the movie that they think that it's what has caused, or could have partially caused, or might be a little responsible for causing the Quiet Rapture. The light is like almost implied to be sentient, or a god, or some kind of like cosmic entity of its own, or maybe even some kind of portal or window that like peeks beyond the veil. A lot of mysterious stuff happens, especially near the end. His oxygen lasts longer than it should. Several days go by on the surface, but his like oxygen level remains exactly the same. He loses consciousness several times. He sees things that clearly cannot exist and cannot be there, like another person on the sub. And it's never really clear what is real and what could be just him losing it, or if his perception is being purposefully altered by a higher entity like the light or the creature. The blood itself from the blood ocean is shown like changing and burning and almost like infecting Simon. At one point it gets like really gruesome, and the ship starts growing these like blood barnacle things, tentacly grossness. And they try to like absorb Simon. If you're squeamish and you don't like body horror, like me, this scene is disgusting. I have to applaud the effects people because ew. They did so good. I physically cringed in my chair during that scene. He's clearly like mutating and falling apart, and it's implied that it could be because of the high radiation from the camera on the iron lung, but it's also sort of hinted at that the blood ocean itself could be like causing it too. The blood ocean is made up of human blood, and while one of the SM8 researchers says that sure, they could extract valuable things from it, she wasn't sure that they should. She felt that something was like truly wrong about the blood oceans, and that they should not be down there and should just leave it alone. The movie definitely gave me a lot more questions about the lore of AT5 and the creatures that inhabit the blood ocean there, and the light, the anomaly, but I mean, because of circumstances, one could always just say, oh, it was all in his head, for most of the Eldritch stuff. But I choose to believe that not all of it was just him losing his mind. That's just my opinion. Either way, 10 out of 10. I loved the movie. It was everything I was hoping it would be, and so much more. So yeah, if you like Eldritch horror, if you like Iron Lung, if you like Markiplier, I would recommend this movie. Yep, that's what I gotta say. I hope he puts it out on like physical release. I would absolutely love like a collector's seal case edition of this with like a behind the scenes special features DVD. This very quickly jumped to one of my favorite movies. I can't wait to see it again. Thank you for watching and for listening to me ramble. If you enjoyed this, leave a like, maybe subscribe and stuff. I talk about Eldritch horror and video games here, and we have a good time. I hope you guys have a good time. Super special thank you as always to my channel members, especially Loremasters, PwNaGeDOTexe, Beitodesstrafe, Lexaous, Vlad, and General Jehuty. I appreciate you all so much, and I hope to see you next time here in the library.